The 10 Show. It's 6 ways you can go green to save some real green. Well, we've come to the end of Green Week here on The 10 Show, and we're wrapping things up with a look at how a green lifestyle might save you a few greenbacks.
Yes, architect Charlie Zarati and carpenter Mark McGraw from GreenAndSave.com are here with 6 tips on saving energy and money, right, guys?
That's right. We have over 60 on our website that list, and then we have 6 here to tell you about.
Okay.
Our first one is programmable thermostats and Energy Star. Energy Star has saved over $14 billion to homeowners, which is like taking 25 million cars off the road. So that's the first thing we would install.
So, no, Mark, you're a carpenter. Do you know how to install that?
A homeowner can install it, not just me. Yes, yeah.
One of the things that's it's amazing, Bill and Lori, that if you can run a phone, like a cell phone, and answer it, you can actually run the dial on this. And what happens is if there are times a day when your kids are out at school or if you're traveling, you can turn it down. And so it's saving 10% of what is your largest energy cost in the house.
Are you better off doing
Hundreds of
that
dollars.
or just adjusting it daily? Get up in the morning, turn it down?
The advantage of not just adjusting it daily is you can cycle in the sleep time so that at 6 in the morning, it starts to build back up that heat in advance. There's nothing wrong with punching the dials up and down, but if you can actually get it to work where while you're sleeping it's working for you, then technology's on your side and you save a couple $100 in the very first year.
Okay, and Mark, what's next?
Our next tip is power reduction. Okay. So standby power reduction are appliances, computers, things like that. They use 25% of their energy when they're off. So if you're going on a trip or a long weekend vacation, you can plug everything into a surge protector or a power strip and turn it off before you go, so you're not using all that 25% when you're away.
And you don't have to unplug everything. You could just pull
flick
that
a switch.
one.
Well, and remember too, it's the little clocks, it's the little lights that flash on all those appliances. And so what happens is no one wants to pay for something that they're not using.
Sure.
This is a way where they're either under the counter or on the side of the desk. You can flip it. We did one at our house where we spent 3 years remodeling for a whole green house with the solar panels and everything.
Wow.
But one of these is right behind the flat screen TV, and if we go away for a long weekend, we shut it down and we're saving the energy. It adds up to hundreds of dollars over the course of multiple years, which really pays for a $3 surge protector.
Exactly.
Now, it wasn't long ago people didn't want any fluorescents in their house because they were just ugly and they were very long and thin. But things are changing now, aren't
They've come a long way, and also they use 2/3 less energy than a standard light bulb and last 10 times as long. And they've come up with all these new innovative ways to not make them look like fluorescent light bulbs as well.
Let's hold this up.
Hold
this up too. What's interesting is you've got bright white, soft white, daylight, so you can test, and for $3 or $4 a bulb, see which one feels right for your house. You can also go in and with the domes, use them for those hi-hats, those recessed lights, where sometimes the coil looks a little bit ugly and people don't like to see it. And these are really terrific. There's also dimmability now, which for years didn't exist.
Appliances you couldn't. They were just on or off. There was no dimmability.
You spend $3 or $4, you're going to immediately save in the first year that $3 or $4, and then save it for a couple years after.
Are they down to $3 or $4 now?
Dimmers run about $6.
Okay, well, that's not bad.
The family pack of a half dozen of the bulbs brings it down to maybe $2.50 each. So it counts to go with a little bit of volume.
Now, in the shower, is that it? What is this amplifying shower?
Well, I think just to keep in the sequence, if you don't mind, in that way we did the return on investment. The next best thing.
We're going to give our hot water heater some love this winter and make it nice and warm and make it feel right at home so we don't lose all the energy. So we're going to put a blanket over it.
If you imagine the hot water tank runs at 120, even sometimes 140 degrees, your garage, your basement might only be 60 degrees. So what this does is it brings that temperature up, and for $20, you're going to save 10, 20 degrees, which relates into $20 or $30 over that first winter of savings.
Wonderful. And then do we get to
Now we get to the shower head. Yeah. You can cut your water cost by 50% by putting in low flow shower heads. And it's really easy to do. It's something you can do as a homeowner. It just threads right on.
That doesn't sound like a fun shower.
We brought this tape just to explain why the pressure can stay the same. If you wrap this with the Teflon and you use these new ones that have a pressure mediation system, what they're doing is they're not reducing the volume of water, they're forcing it in so it feels like the equivalent of a 3 to 5 gallon per minute.
So
no one wants to be.
You
got it. No one wants Bill to be under that drippy faucet. It's a terrible feeling, even in the dead of winter.
Did you bring us one last?
The air filter.
Well, let's talk about tune-ups.
Tune-ups.
All right.
You tune up your car, you tune up, things to make it safe. Well, we're going to tune up the house. The heating system we need to tune up with filters and insulation and things like that.
One of the things anyone can do is get the right type of filters. This happens to have a corrugated system which lets more air through, so your furnace isn't working as hard to push that air. To get insulation on ducts is a great way to keep that heat hot as it's moving through the house, crawl spaces or, again, garages. What happens, though, is there's only so much we can do as homeowners. Spending a couple $100 for a specialist to come in, and we built the website with all this resource where you can find the type of specialist that's pre-approved, is a couple $100 well spent, because that tune-up is about the motors and all the kind of the electronic apparatus that we're not comfortable doing.
To help you out, we'll put a link to that
pliers.
website on our website at NBC10.com, and everyone will be able to save a little green, a little
Yes.
Terrific.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank you guys so
Mark. Thank you,
much.
Charlie. We're back.
And hey, the members of our studio
that's right.
audience are actually going to go home with one of these actually reusable Wegmans grocery bags or an energy-saving light bulb courtesy of GE.
Thank you, guys. We'll be right back.